All right, so for the second segment of this show, this is going to be a weird one, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I know I've said that for multiple segments of this podcast, but to be honest, I don't think I ever thought I'd be talking about this. I don't no, not in my life, but for content for this show, for a podcast segment, for anything like that. I never thought I'd be bringing this up. Basically, the question I pose to you is, when a couple, how do I explain this? When a couple is trying to conceive a child, they're having trouble with it, and they have to go see a specialist who has to do all the tests, testing the sperm, eggs, all that shit. And the guy's asked to go in that little room and produce said sample. Should the wife be in there? Basically, should the wife be in there to help stimulate the situation? Is stimulate the right word? Because to me, when I say stimulate, I'm thinking it's going around the other end. But that's neither here nor there. I'm also not smart, so I could just be saying stupid words that don't even make any sense. But people like it, so I'm just gonna keep talking out of my ass. Again, no pun intended. Basically, should she be in there to help shake hands with Ben Franklin? Should she be in there to help spank the monkey? Bottom line, should she be in there to yank his crank? Is what I'm trying to get at. To me, and I know this is a weird segment, but to me, when I first thought of this, when this idea first came to my head, I was like, yeah, that does make sense. That makes sense because you two are in a loving relationship. It's going to be your kid. Like, you want to be together for the process, all that crap. But when you break it down, I can't believe I'm breaking this down like it's a football play. When you break it down, really, this is a situation where the guy should be doing it by himself. It's a process that he has to endure. It's a process where she should be waiting in the doctor's office, in the waiting room, whatever, while he is figuring it out on his own. Why? Reason number one. Actually, side note, now that I think about it. In those little rooms where you're producing said sample, what are they using nowadays? Are they still using nudie mags? Because this situation came up because I was watching a sitcom called Rules of Engagement, and it was from like the late 2000s, early 2010s, and there were still nudie mags there, so it was a little dated. But now that it's 2022, in the doctor's office, do they have like a catalog of porn on the TV? Do they have tapes that you can use? And if they use the tapes, are they VHS tapes? Because, doctor's offices, they can't keep shit up to date. When you're in like the waiting room, for example, the magazines are all like months to years old, more often than not. Or is it like an on-demand thing where you're on the screen and like you're sifting through different like major porn movies or porn videos? Like, how do they have that set up? Granted, I'll probably learn that when I'm 40 or 50 and I'm shooting blanks, and it'll probably be changed by then. But that's neither here nor there. That's just my stupid brain going on a tangent. Anyway, getting back to the topic on hand. The reason that the wife shouldn't be in the room with the guy is because she knows what's at stake, if that makes sense. And let me break that down. She knows what's at stake because this isn't like a normal Friday, Saturday night for these two. You're doing this for a reason. You're yanking his crank. I can't think of another good innuendo, and I hate this, but we're just going to stick with that. Because you're doing it for more of a purpose than for an activity, if that makes sense. So the performance anxiety is going to be there. And I hate to say performance anxiety for a married couple, but the performance anxiety is going to be there. And during that time, she may choke under pressure. Not choke, you perverts, but choke as in might be a little too fast, might be a little too rough, and just can't get the job done. Her head might not be in the game. She might be focused on, oh, I want to have a kid, and not, oh, we need to figure this out here, like that kind of stuff. The motion of the ocean might be too forced in some senses. I feel weird saying with this topic because it's involving having a kid. But if you think about it, that would be the worst time for your wife to help you out in that situation. I'm doing air quotes on an audio podcast, which is not helping the situation at all. So I should say air quotes more, but helping situation. But the bottom line is, in that moment, that's where the guy just figures it out. Like I said before, don't try to make this a couple thing. Don't try to make this a we do things together kind of a situation. No, that's where you split off. You let him do his thing. Let him spank his own monkey. Let him meet Ben Franklin on his own. And just reconvene afterward. I feel like I did not do this topic justice, but that's just how I feel. And I need to know what you guys think, because, wow, that is a new kind of topic for me. Let me know in the comments. Jesus Christ.